What's going on, you guys? Team Kings of Games in this thing, baby. And today we're gonna have a little bit of a discussion, and the discussion, I feel it's gonna be very very passionate. It's driven in the right direction, and it's coming from actually a really really good place. And this is really out there for all you role players. Like this is for you guys. If you play meta and you want to play everything that everybody else is playing, and you want to do that, this video is not for you. All right. So I'm here with the team member Josh, and basically, we're gonna have this little discussion with you guys, and it's concerning playing the deck that you love, regardless of the turbulence and the naysayers, and regardless of what people tell you. And basically, the message that we have for you guys today is that don't ever let anybody tell you that your deck is bad, ever. No matter how they look at it, and no matter what their opinion is of your deck, if you believe in that deck and you believe in its potential and you believe in your heart that that deck is good, don't listen to them, bro. Because more than half the time, the same people telling you that your deck is bad are the net deck copycat sheeps that don't even know how to build a deck in the first place. All they know how to do is copy and paste.
Yeah.
And there's no originality, and there's no mindset, there's no concept. And a lot of them might think that they know how to build a deck, but really they're just taking somebody else's deck and then modifying a couple tweaks here and there, but the blueprint originated from somebody else. So when you hear that, don't listen to those people, bro. Don't listen to them. How could they tell you that your deck is bad if they don't even know how it operates? They've never even played the deck before, but they're telling you it's bad. Somebody tells this man that his ABCs are bad. Have they played ABCs before? No. So how do they know if the deck is bad? Oh, because I saw... No. Forget what you saw. Experience. Experience. Wisdom and knowledge, there's a difference between the two. Knowledge is knowing, right? It's like when you have the knowledge, right? Knowledge means that you know how it operates, but wisdom says, I've applied that knowledge to my life, and I know exactly how it operates, and this is through personal experience. And that's where it comes down to your wisdom being challenged by their knowledge, and all they know is what they were told. They're just going off of what they're told, and half the time they don't even know what they're talking about. It's just repeated words, all right? Go ahead, bro. Share your thoughts.
In my experience, playing your favorite deck, you have to test it against what the meta is. Meta in itself is an acronym that says most efficient tactic available.
Most efficient tactic available.
And my question is, what does that mean to you? I mean, like, what is your most efficient tactic available against these meta decks? Like these number one decks that you see top in YCSs and like regional events. What main deck outs or side deck outs are you using in your favorite deck against these decks? Because that's what's really going to bring them up to that level. Like Sky Strikers. My deck plays see, Hentai Spell Fragrance, Imperial Order, Magical Deflector for the Widow Anchor. Those are, like it's all about what outs do you have to these decks. It like everybody wants to distinguish between what's good and what's bad, as if it's
based
that
off
simple.
speculation.
Yeah, just based off of speculation.
They don't even actually know for fact.
Yeah, it's like it's not exactly that black and white. Like I've last regionals I went undefeated for 5 rounds against the Danger FTK, Thunder Dragons, Altergeist. I mean, like I was putting them in a coffin with an ABC deck with one A in it. With one A in it. There were matches where I was done first, like the match was over in 10 minutes, just like walking around looking at everybody.
But they said ABCs are bad because it's at 1 though.
Yeah, exactly. They say ABC's bad at 3. With like A at 3. Like
they said I don't think it's gonna do anything. I don't think that the deck's good.
Right. I don't really agree with all these unhealthy interactions with the community, with people just bashing a player for playing their favorite deck. His favorite deck is Heralds. He walked straight up into my locals, never been there before, and he was putting people away. I mean, like round after round after round, people not knowing what to do. I mean, with Heralds, playing against what'd you play against?
I played against Infernoids, going second Infernoids. I played against Sky Strikers, Prank Kids, and True Dracos.
Like, when's the last time you saw Heralds do anything?
Anything.
Anything.
Unless I was playing it.
Yeah. You know, like that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's the difference between we were talking about it the other night. A person with experience with the deck is going to be with one deck is going to be a whole lot better than a person who has never played the best deck before. You know, like say I'm picking up a Thunder Dragon deck, and it's my maybe my first or second month with the deck, and I go up against him, and he's had over 10 years experience with his heralds. I mean, like, who's gonna win, right? Heralds.
Tell them
Herald.
it's like a phrase that you use, like a pebble in the hands of a master.
Yeah, that's a quote from Black Zetsu in the Naruto series.
Let them know.
Yeah,
I can't remember the quote word for word.
yeah. Me neither. A pebble in the hand of a master can easily defeat a fool wielding a shuriken.
So a
If that makes
pebble
sense.
in the hands of a master beats a fool wielding a shuriken.
Right. You know, like it can overpower a shuriken if it's wielded by the hand of a master.
I mean,
That
I
makes
saw
sense.
a dude playing Madolches, and he walked in when Blue Eyes were at full power, and he got like top 10 in a Blue Eyes, like when Blue Eyes took the meta by storm at Worlds.
Right.
But they said Madolches were bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave Prank Kids a bad name, and then Prank Kids won YCS Milan. But all the people that said that the deck was bad, here's the funny thing to me, and this is what makes me laugh every time. The same people that will tell you that this deck is bad will see it do so well that they'll turn around and they'll pick that deck up like a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And the same people that said the deck wasn't going to do anything are the people now hyping it up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this deck's broken. The same people that said Mermails are dead got bodied by a Mermail and got 6-card hand loop. The same people that said, oh, Trickstar Skystripe is not viable anymore. Why? Because, and it's like representation is an influential and impactful element in any meta game. Because, like, if there's 1,000 people playing Battery Mans at the 1,200 man YCS, I guarantee you that people are going to start hyping up Battery Mans and turn around like, dude, I don't know what it is about this deck, but everybody's playing it, so I'm just going to play it. And that's the thing, like, just because everybody's not playing a deck doesn't make it bad.
Yeah.
And that's what you guys really have to understand. Just because it's not the top 5 decks does not make it bad. And don't ever say that a deck's bad if you don't understand the mechanic. If you've never played the deck or picked it up a day in your life and you haven't, because you can't just play it and say that you know it. You have to garner experience. That means you have to dedicate yourself to understand the weaknesses of the deck and how it plays with its good and bad hands.
Yeah.
And when you get that understanding, then you can tell me that a deck is good or bad because you've played it before. But if you have no knowledge of how the deck's functionality operates, who are you to tell me that the deck's bad? You're speaking out of sheer ignorance.
Don't give up just because the deck loses, you know, like a couple times. That's where the refining process is. You know,
Exactly.
I mean, like now, I mean, like it's kind of like what Thomas Edison says. Like I didn't fail 99 times. I found 99 ways on how not to make a light bulb. You know?
Hello.
You know, like
And
just
that's
like
Thomas Edison.
the like new, like that's how you can separate the good from the bad. You're not going to build a deck in 30 minutes, and whenever it loses, you just drop it. Like that's not how it goes.
Yeah.
That's not how it goes. Like
You
it
gotta
doesn't necessarily
dedicate
mean
yourself.
that like it's not a bad deck. That means you just have to spend a little bit more time and see how you can pilot that deck. You know, like if I pick up a sword and Ivan picks up a sword at the same time, we're gonna both wield that sword in different ways. But is that sword still dangerous? Yes, depending on who's wielding it.
Exactly.
Like this guy at YCS Milan, he went up against a whole bunch of like a whole bunch of decks are making unbreakable boards, unkillable boss monsters, quote unquote, 3 to 6 negate boards, double Colossus Titan 2 times in a row, and he was smashing through them. Why? Because he took this prank kid deck and he turned it in like he turned his play style into a way that it was breaking these boards.
Exactly.
If
And
you
he
could-
took that deck that people said was bad,
no,
and
like-
he ignored what they said, and he said, "I'm
Yeah.
gonna play it anyways."
Yeah, like you have to pay attention to the way it's played. Like there's more than one way to skin a cat. You know,
Yeah.
like just like there's more than one way to play heralds. There's more than one way to play APCs. There's more than one ways to play a true Draco deck. You don't necessarily have to use floodgates. Like the way
Yeah,
you were
you
playing
don't
it
have
going second. I mean, there's a whole myriad of like different ways to don't just give up on your deck because number one, people are telling you that it's bad. Number
Yeah,
two,
don't listen to them, bro.
yeah.
They don't
N-
even know what they're talking about.
Number two, you're not seeing high representation from like other people.
Right.
You
God forbid it's not popular.
you could be that person who spends the time day in day out perfecting your deck, and then guess what? You top a regionals, you top a YCS. Let alone like you might even win the thing, and then like boom, your name is like etched in history because you went the distance and you didn't give up on your deck.
There we
and
go.
and that'll be a testament of your skill. Don't just give up like after a week. Know what I mean? And it's like, well, this deck's not really doing a lot. I'm just going to go pick up Thunder Dragons. I'm just going to go pick
Don't
up
do
Sky
it.
Strikers. I'm going to go pick up Alter Guys because it's easy to play. You know.
Because I see the track record. Because
Yeah,
I
like,
know that
yeah.
I can top playing this deck.
Yeah. I mean, like where's the originality? I mean, like a lot of these deck lists look the same.
They all look
You
the
want
same.
to know like
And they have these crazy logics,
Yeah.
bro. They're like, Jesse Cotton didn't play it, so I'm just
Yeah.
not gonna play it.
yeah, like
What is
like
he, your god?
the ratio that they quote unquote they play is like at 2. You're only supposed to play this at 2. Why? What's the science behind playing this card at 2?
Because everybody else plays it at 2. That's
Yeah.
why.
Exactly. I mean, like you have to get into the science and ratios of like building your own deck.
Yep.
You know,
Don't just do what everybody else does. Like, it's not about mirror images and replicated facsimiles.
like whenever you're building a deck, how many hand traps do you put in it? Do you run hand traps at all? What are your outs to the meta decks? I mean, like, what are your reasonings behind the ratios that you're putting in? You know, like what deck gives you the most trouble? Is it Thunder Dragons? So you like need to search a lot, right? You just make like it's just easy as 1, 2, 3. Like if you're not seeing like enough cards in your side, up the number of cards in the side. You know, like it doesn't necessarily have to be like my deck sucks and it'll never be good. It just takes that one time, that one regional top, that one YCS top, just that one top 32. You know, that is a body bag. It's a wrap.
Big time.
Everybody's gonna want to play your deck and
Your
that
deck, dude.
Your
The
deck.
same deck that they told you was bad.
Yeah.
And you're that man that was tenacious and unwavering, dude. And I'm talking about, bro, like, you not only put in that effort, but you were like, okay, I failed once. I'm still going to keep trying. Like, you never, ever gave up on that deck. And that is a testament not only to your unwavering will, but it shows, hey, look, bro, I piloted a deck that's not easy to play, and I still outmaneuvered and I outwitted you playing a deck that everybody's playing. And that shows that your skill level is probably higher than the skill level of the other players. Because it's true, it's a challenge to win with Rogue. And it's not to say that Rogue is bad and unfavorable. It's just for the simple fact that Rogue is uncontested. And a lot of times it is Rogue because a lot of people try to stay away from it because they don't want the mental challenge. They want to play an easy deck. They hate challenges, bro. They don't want to interact with you, bro. They don't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh. They just want to like have this deck that just wins. Like they want to play FTK. They want to play Colossuses to stop your deck from searching because your deck just relies on searching. They don't want to interact. They don't want to actually rely on pure skill. They don't want a challenge.
Yeah.
And for the people like us that we're like, I love the challenge. I accept your challenge. And I prefer the challenge because I want to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh! He wants to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm sure you guys out there, you want to get better, right? And you're not going to get better playing Yu-Gi-Oh! If you just pick up the deck that everybody's playing and literally pilot it the same exact way that you saw somebody like, what's this guy's name, man? Jeff Jones. If you see Jeff Jones, a lot of people flock to him, but what they do is they copy exactly what he does. And if he tells you that a card is bad, you will turn around and tell every one of your friends that a card's bad. Why? Oh, because Jeff Jones said it's bad. But how do you know if it's bad or not? Like, you have to eliminate speculation. You have to eliminate assumptions. And you have to go solely and purely based off of your experience, your preference, the accumulative experience. I mean, you can't just get experience from one event, like the accumulation of experience. And once you accumulate that experience and you kind of understand how your deck operates, then you can go ahead and make the decision, oh, this deck is good or bad. But don't jump to conclusions just because everybody out there is telling you that your deck is bad. I mean, dude, if you're like playing, I mean, what's a really unpopular deck? Like, let's think of, like, if you're playing Ritual Beast, and they tell you that the Ritual Beast deck is bad, like, dude, you remind them that this deck was just one of the most dominant forces like on the planet. If you're playing Metaphors and they tell you Metaphors is bad, there's not a single card in that deck that's on the ban list. It's still just as powerful as it was, even under the hindrance of Master Rule 4. You know what makes those decks unfavorable? It's the representation and the popularity. That's it. If everybody and their mama was playing Metaphors, it would be a hype train like Metaphors are broken. If everybody stopped playing Thunder Dragons, do you know that people will literally start saying that the deck is bad, even though nothing's changed? Representation is a huge influence, and it plays tricks on your mind because you think, oh, well, I don't see it topping, so that means that it cannot top. Negative, that's incorrect. It might not be topping just because nobody's playing it. But I guarantee you, if there's the select few that pick up that deck and play it, and you see it topping, you'll really understand that this deck is as good as it really is. Facts. So, like, you really just have to be willing to go the extra mile. You have to be that person that's just like, hey, bro, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to play this deck, and I'm going to risk the chance that I might scrub out or that I might not. And it goes the same with a lot of decks. There's so many decks out there that are good. Like, the meta is so minuscule. Like, this is the meta, and then this is like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, there's so many decks out there, bro. There's a wide variety. Konami knows what they're doing when they make these cards. And there's a ton of decks that have never been hit on the ban list that are just as powerful as they were in the past in their prime that they are now. Basically, they've never left their prime. And all it takes is for that one person. Like, I know a dude that's been playing Mermels. And he's my boy. Like, dude, he's been playing Mermels since, like, the beginning, like, of Mermels existing. This man, like, won a regionals in, I think he won a regionals in Nevada with Mermels. And this dude, like, he defied all logic. And this was, like, before Sekka's Light came out, before there was a hype behind Mermels. And he proved to everybody, he was like, look, bro, just because you don't see it topping doesn't mean that it can't top. It just means that nobody's playing it. And dude, like, man, I could go on a tangent, but yeah, bro, like, period point blank, you guys, like, don't listen to these people, man. And didn't you write some notes?
I've already talked about it.
Oh, that's all of them?
Yeah. That's all of them. My main point, to be honest, is just going to be, don't listen to what anybody else says about your play style or your deck. Come to the conclusions yourself. If you feel like some of the choices you made during your gameplay might be questionable, then like maybe take notes, pay attention to like what you're doing, and then improve on it next time. Come to the conclusions on the ratios of what you're putting in your deck by yourself, or get somebody who's on that same wavelength as you, who will help you with your ratios on your deck. You know, like, don't just look at a deck list and go, okay, this is what like they were playing and it got them success. I'm gonna do it
Right.
like this.
That's the epitome of net decking.
There's like, I can tell you, there's probably every ABC deck that I've seen in the past few months hasn't ran Topologic Trispania, but I do. And every time I drop Topologic Trispania, I win. And because it serves a specific purpose, you know, like against certain like situations that my deck is very, very weak to. And like
Circumventing for the weaknesses.
Yeah, you know, exactly. Like, now I main deck these outs. I was losing to a whole bunch of floodgates, so I came up with a way to take care of the floodgates before they happen. In the middle of the match, I sided for going first, and I supplemented my strategy I was using for going second. Use that same combo to make Topologic Trispania and Buster right underneath it, so I can tag out Buster and take care of all the back row during the end phase, and then I can make Moral Sword and Buster in the game right there.
Right.
Like I don't see anybody talking about that. Not to hype myself up, but it took me like months. It took me a long time to get to some of these combos, but I made up every single one of my ABC combos by myself. Every single one of them. And now my most efficient tactic available is to bring ABCs, because I'm more equipped with this deck than I am with any other deck. You know, like, I've used this deck to go up against all of the meta decks multiple times, and now I have a plan. Whenever I face against these decks on a regional or like other competitive level. So don't give up hope. good things take time. Things that are worth it take time, and the glory will be worth the time.
Yes, you will be awarded for your perseverance.
Yep.
Big time. I mean, seriously, you guys, and that's really what we both. I think we both want you guys to take this out of this video, because even me personally, I've been knocked and put down and disregarded and disrespected because of my choice of the decks that I play. Because I always go to regionals playing a non-conventional deck, but yet for some reason I have over 20 tops under my belt with, and none of them were ever playing the actual like popular decks. Like I've always took non-conventional deck. In fact, 14 of my tops were with Herald of Perfection, but I still get knocked to this day, and people still tell me that my deck is bad. And these are the people that didn't take the time or the effort and dedication to figure out if the deck could even work. The same people that say that, like my channel overhypes bad decks, these are the same people that don't even have a conception or a mindset of their own to build their own decks. And they're basically just going around copying what the other popular players are doing, and they're mimicking them. And they have no, it's called conforming, by the way, if you didn't know what it is. It's called conforming. And all these people that are conforming to what the good players are doing, they think, well, if you're not doing what the good players are doing, then you're a bad player.
Sheeps.
Yeah, sheeps. And it really sucks, and it's really sad, because Yu-Gi-Oh is supposed to be like it's supposed to be diverse, and there's so much flexibility and room for creativity and innovation, and there's all these cards that come out in every set that you have no idea there's an intended purpose for them in multiple decks. And it's for the simple fact that people are too scared to play something that's not meta, and they just listen to what everybody else says. And that's why there's not as much creativity as there could be. Because don't get me wrong, there is some like running around, you have innovations. But the other thing is, like, give credit where credit is due. If you see somebody go out of their way to invent something, don't take the credit for their work and go around claiming to be the guy that just came up with this, because you have no idea the strenuous activity that they put themselves through trying to figure out how to even make this a thing. And so, like, that's the bottom line. Everybody that is a fan of this channel is more than likely a fan of it. It's because of the decks that I care about. Like, I care about what you guys care about, and you guys are just like me. You guys are like, I'm gonna make my deck work, and I'm not letting anybody tell me. I'm not letting anybody tell me no, and I love that. And we need to have that kind of attitude, because I mean, bro, when I tell you, like, I went all the way to nationals with Zephyrs, and they weren't even popular. I mean, I'm doing that, bro, and I'm doing that to prove that you can do it too. Like, it just takes practice and dedication, and we really want everybody that's a fan of this channel to kind of just let that sink in. Let that sink in your mind. Think about that. So you mean to tell me I could win playing Yu-Gi-Oh just spending $50? Yes, bro. I topped an event with no hand traps. I didn't even have evenly matched in my deck. My entire side, extra, and main was like under $70. You don't have to pay to play. It takes true skill to play without hand traps. It really does. It absolutely does. But it's not impossible. I mean, dude, you've seen a Dark Warrior deck, right? And it had 0 hand traps in it, right? I mean, clearly this guy has some form of skill if he's going second with no hand traps and still winning. So it shows you that you don't need these cards. You don't need these cards just because people are telling you that you need them. And just because everybody that's winning is playing it, maybe everybody that's winning is just conforming to each other and one another. Until you have that one mad genius, like this young man that won YCS Milan. And I applaud him, because he said, dude, I'm going to defy all logic. I'm just going to take something non-conventional. And I think that really was a testament to his skill, because this man clearly knew exactly what he was doing. And this was with the deck that was like just pushed to the side, just brushed aside, like they weren't even worried about it. And then now this man has a whole hype train on his back, because he did exactly what we're telling you that you can do too. So yeah, you guys, that pretty much. You have any last thoughts?
That's it. That Prankage deck cost $30 whenever it won YCS Milan.
He turned it to like $100 deck.
Yeah. Well, like minus the Boral Swords and like you know what I mean, like with staples, but the deck core itself.
Yeah.
You know,
Like you remember that dude that won with World Chalice?
Yeah.
And then everybody and their
exactly,
mama wanted to play World Challenge because a man took World Challenge, so why say it's in one?
It's the best deck.
It's the best deck.
World
It's
Challenge.
the best deck.
World Challenge tier 0.
Tier 0.
Yeah. It's the answer we needed.
Yeah, bro. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw somebody literally win a regionals with Ritual Beast. This is in 2017. In 2018, I've seen people win. I mean, Pendulum Magicians are still popping, right? But let's forget about that, right? I've seen people win with Dracos, right? And Dracos are like, you know, kind of hindered and crippled. I've seen somebody top with a stun deck playing just Border and Thunder King Ryo. I've seen somebody come in playing a Red Eyes deck and top an event. I've seen somebody come in with a Blue Eyes deck, Blue Eyes, a bad deck, and come in and top an event. I mean, dude, I've seen people playing just like some of the craziest decks, and they made it work, and they just went against the grain, and they said, forget what everybody else is on. This is what I'm on right here, and you're not ready for me. You're not ready for me because you don't know how my deck operates because you said it's bad. So now you never even took the time to figure out how the deck works because you said it's bad. Why'd you say it's bad? You don't know why it's bad. You just think it's bad because it's not popular and it's not topping. Erase that mindset. Erase it. Like, you need to uproot that, dude. Like, that needs to be purged from your system. All right? Purge it. Stop. Like, dude, figure it out on your own. Figure it out on your own. And don't take what somebody says and run with it. Don't even take what we say and run with it. Go do this stuff on your own. And then you'll find out that we're not lying to you. But I think that's going to pretty much conclude the topic discussion, you guys. The entire discussion, actually, you know. For those of you who sat down and actually just sat here and listened to this conversation that we're having with you, I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day for doing it. Especially if you didn't just skim through it, but you actually listened to what we have to say. I appreciate you and I applaud you. You're the MVP. Because like there's some jewels here. There's some nuggets of wisdom in here. And it's coming from two die-hard, try-hard rogue players that are never going to give up on our deck no matter what. No matter what. Whether we win or lose, we're still going to be playing the same deck from now until the end of time. Unless they ban every card in my deck, I'm not going to stop playing it. So yeah, you guys, God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. Stay positive. Don't do drugs. Don't join a gang. And you folks have a beautiful night, all right? Peace.